guys, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Happy Monday and happy new week, right? This is a new week, another week in the industry. At this point, time is just a thing and we're just living in this realm of time. And what an eventful weekend, right? I try not to spend too much time on Twitter during the weekends because, it's kind of time to for me personally, I kind of want to disconnect and connect with the in real life world. But it was impossible not to notice my phone buzzing every other minute or every minute at that because I have some sales bot notifications set up on my phone. Anytime some sales come in, I get the notification, right? I'm seeing what people are buying, what people are registering. I'm staying up to date with that stuff. So when this guy went and swept 150 of these things, these bad boy 4 digits, my phone kept going off and off and off and off. And um, at first I thought maybe it was a massive sweep going on. What's going on? I don't know. And then, I just pinned a tweet to the top. If it looks like there was a Dow, shout out to Player One for, breaking this down and doing a little investigation. Looks like there was a Dow that actually went in and swept 150 of these things and might be later on fractionalizing them at a later date for potential consumers. Now, this is my thinking, and this is how I feel about this situation right here. This is massive for the space because as more DAOs get established, as it shows me one that the 4 digit domain has enough liquidity in it that this DAO said, let us go sweep this thing and fractionalize it for one. But two, I think this is just the beginning of what we're going to see between DAOs, corporations, institutions, hedge funds, so forth and so on. They're going to come into the crypto NFT space and they're going to say, what are good investments, right? What are the best investments for us to make for our DAO, for us to make for our institutions, our corporations? And they're going to look at the digits. They're going to look at the digits like this DAO did, and sweeping 150 was probably nothing, right? It's probably nothing for a major player in the game. So I don't expect this to be the last time we see something like this. I think it's going to become a lot more common in the months and years to come. So with that being said, good morning, everybody. Let's kick the show off. Ron, how you doing, man?
Hey, GM Kevin, doing well. I'm still a little sick and trying to get over my jet lag. So since I've been sick, I'm still on African time, waking up at 1 and staying up all night. But yeah, overall good and getting caught up. And yeah, it was exciting to see those 150 of those 4 digits swept. Also, lots of good sales on the 3 digits. I mean, I think sometimes I think that we get so caught up in all the we're all kind of looking for the next little club or niche or whatever people are buying, but in the end, scarcity never goes out of style. And I think the 3 digits, the 3 letters, the 4 digits, even the 5 digits, and sometime even the 6 digits are going to be looking pretty scarce when the real masses come for it. So, and then on another note, I haven't talked too much about it for the last 8 years. I've kind of been involved in a salt mine project in Southern California, and we just sold that today. So that's good to kind of exit that and close that chapter out. And it was a really, really good sell to more for me because I'm not taking much from the sale because I've kind of been out of my partner kind of had to take all of the responsibility for it when we started our fund, our crypto fund, so I could focus on that. But it's good to see a project that you know involved for 8 years to really make an
We lost Ron. We lost him. Ron, you there?
Yeah, sorry, I got a call in, so it kind of rugged me a little bit. I don't know if you can hear me now.
Yep.
Yeah, but anyway, so always good to make a successful exit on a project that you put a lot of time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears into, and yeah, I mean, and much happier to be involved in the ENS space. It's something that's you look at the traditional businesses compared to this, and man, it's kind of hard to put a lot of time and money into traditional stuff because it's just it's like riding little beach breaks or riding a tidal wave. So anyway, it just was a nice feeling though to make that successful exit and see it go on to a company that's really going to be able to maximize it even more than our team was. And yeah, looking forward to having even, and I was still advising on it, but now won't have to spend any time on it and focus even more time on ENS. So and some projects we're working in this space. So yeah, looking forward to today's conversation. I heard it was listening to a great space up Gary did with Well Shark over the weekend. Only got to listen to the first quarter of it, but yeah, it was good stuff happening. Love to see those spaces going all weekend, and yeah, excited for today's discussions.
Yeah, man, congratulations. That is absolutely huge. Hope hope that frees up your time a little bit more, and hope you enjoy yourself with some of those funds you made. Good morning, Master. How you doing, man?
Hey, good morning, guys. So, yeah, three things I will share with you guys today. First is I just pinned to the top. Right now, we have 1,986,000 names out. And actually, we are very close to 2 million, which is a very important, milestone for ENS. So I believe it will be either by Tuesday, latest by Wednesday, that we will reach that number, and by that time you can imagine all the media is going to reporting, and we will see overwhelming messages like that. And very importantly, that message will have a huge influence to all the traditional people who have not known anything about ENS yet. As I have mentioned something in the last space, we need incremental funds and we need incremental people into this game so that we can make the cake bigger. And we know this will happen. This is a trend, and yeah, although a lot of people are still sleeping on that, or they pretend sleeping, but the utility and the participation and the registration, the participating addresses is going to prove this is the right thing to do. So sooner or later, I mean, we will see something like a game changer later in this week. 2 million is really great. Nobody expected that to happen when ENS just got launched, but yeah, very happy we will see that boost. And once 2 million, achieved, more people will be asking what is ENS about. More people will be searching ENS on the OpenSea. More people will be, interested to register name when they found out all the good names are out. They will be interested to ask for some second selling and something like that. So yeah, we are pretty much there. Just hold your gems. And also after that, we have all the great, the next step milestones, such as name wrappers, such as the lease of the NFT, lease of the domain name. So yeah, I mean, all news is good news. Rest assured. And the second thing I'm going to talk to you guys is recently I received lots of DMs, and because I have some good ENS names, and I receive despite to the DMs regarding they want to me to buy their shit names. Also, there are some people that are in my names, they want to maybe acquire them, but I constantly receive some messages as I say something like the terms like, what is the least number you can accept for this name, what is the least amount you can accept, like this. So this is what I'm going to share with you guys today. In case some of your good names are approached and being asked such a question, never ever simply tell him, what is your least number to accept. Don't do that, because there is not any commitment. It's not like you tell him what the least you are going to accept and he will buy it immediately. That is just a test and know what is your bottom line. And you never give out that bottom line easily to others, right? Why the hell do I have to tell you my least line? I don't want to sell my names to you by the least number I want. That is not the right way to do. We don't need that liquidity that bad. Otherwise, we sell our names to the floor. But yeah, I've received a lot of messages, so I would highly encourage you guys not to give out your bottom line, and you politely answers them in the message. Thank you for your interest in this domain, but unfortunately, I have already made my listing in OpenSea. This is my attitude. If you're interested in this name, maybe you can do something like you can make an offer, right? Because the most make sense negotiation is use the listing and offer to talk, not only typing. And because on the email, on the WeChat, on the space, on the Twitter DM, nothing is a commitment. It's just a testing, each other's bottom line. And we don't want to just try not to giving out your bottom line so easily to others. And that the bottom line in most cases it's variable. So yeah, everyone has his own strategy. But if you don't want to give out your name easily, especially at this moment, we say we die before the dawn coming, right? Very close. 2 million registration and name wrapper and subdomain, and also for the ENS domain leasing. So much good news. We don't want to give it out easily. Okay, so this is also something I'm going to share with you guys. Last but not least, not very good news that recently I experienced some kind of people they want to rug me. They sent me a screenshot on the OpenSea. It looks like they are going to acquire some of my name. And he said, when I want to click and buy this name, the name was listing for 15 ETH. He said, when I'm going to buy it, something there's error message. He sent a screenshot. It looks like a legit OpenSea, screenshot. It can clearly tell that his account has 27 ETH. When he clicks buy, and it's prompt the error message, transaction error, copy means detected, something like that. I'm not sure any of you received anything similar. So I tell him, okay, if you cannot buy it, maybe you can make an offer and I will accept it, right? The same amount. Or if you want, I can list it somewhere else, like Looks Rare or ENS Vision. And then he sent me another screenshot regarding, he said, your account seems, let me read that for you. He said, I did a little more research and it looks like your account is suspended of copy minting. And there's a website he sent to me, copyminting-blog.com. I would be more comfortable if this was attended to, since OpenSea has pointed it out. So the error message, so the message was sent from the Twitter DM, but the link actually there was even a preview on Twitter DM, and I used IE internet browser that doesn't have any plug-in, my wallet to open it, and then I compared on OpenSea itself. There is such a page, exact same page, but OpenSea has an OpenSea URL start with opensea.com/ blah blah blah. But this is something new. He is something copymint-blog.com. It looks like it is a rug. So I'm telling him, as a reply, I see. I'm telling him I'm even selling names in last couple of days. So there's no way my account is there's no way my account is suspended by OpenSea. And after that, the guy blocked me. He is done with these people, and he go to the next station. So just keep in mind that especially to us, when we are selling names, lots of people will take advantage of our potential. We call it greedy, because we want to sell our names, right? Everyone want to do so, and they want to let you know you are just a one milestone. You are just one step away from selling it. He is even showing a screenshot that he is going to buy it with a wallet that has a fund in it, that he can buy it as long as you resolve his problem. But it's efficient, unfortunately. So yes, these people will go to hell sooner or later, but we just want to make sure we don't go there before them. So always keep in mind, don't click on the strange links. And if there's any prompt for the links, don't sign or approve anything on the fresh link. Make sure you do that. Or to be more secured way, usually I will keep my seed phrase and signed approval on some of the fresh computer, or this computer is only for the crypto signature, only for OpenSea listing and buy stuff. And the normal people, the normal computer I use, I don't touch on the crypto sign. I don't touch anything on that. There will be a safer way. Or if you have a hardware wallet, it will even be better. but just don't easily trust anyone that DM to you. Although he looks like a very legit buyer with everything ready, just one step away. But in most cases, or in a lot of cases, that step will cause us pay a lot. Just keep this in mind. There is no free lunch in the world. If someone is going to buy the name, okay, let them buy it. If they don't buy it, okay, let them go away. They are not only buyer. ENS will be great. It won't happen that only one people is in love with this name. That will not happen. And if they are going to make you believe so, you are going to believe the otherwise. Because I'm telling you, I almost get rugged. So this will happen on any people because it looks like the people is got everything very normal. Everything looks very legit. Maybe because I'm very close to Sarah 15E's name, so I feel I'm willing to feel that this is a legit people. But unfortunately, sometimes that is not the case. So yeah, that is something I'm going to share with you guys. Any questions regarding these drug people? You want to see some screenshot? You can DM me. I will send to you. And yeah, anything, just let me know. We should have guys have a great day. Thanks.
Wow. Wow. I think that's a big message for the day and something that we always need to be reminded of. Master, thank you for sharing that with us. Stay vigilant, stay aware, stay on your P's and Q's, and don't trust anybody in this space who some people come as angels. They come as good figures, they come as helpful figures, and they have malicious and evil intent. Because the truth is, we have valuable assets here, right? We have valuable assets. Pretty sure you guys heard this hundreds of times, use the ledger and so forth and so on. But even beyond that, right, it gets deeper than that. It's just staying on your P's and Q's, but we'll keep it moving right along. The NFT verse. Good morning, man. How you doing, brother?
GM, everybody. GM to the community. GM, Kev 5155159. Thanks for always hosting this space. Just bringing value to the whole entire ENS community. Ron, Master for co-hosting. I see Gary up here, 0095 Punks. Man, good morning to everybody. Good morning to the whole entire community. First thing I kind of want to touch on something with the whole Dow thing that is scooping up the four digits. I had like a little pop up space yesterday, and I was just kind of explaining there. It's not recording anything, but I was just kind of touching on that what these new people or new players as they start to come in, as the big boys start to make their way to ENS. I'll tell you this: everybody has a selling point. I don't care what club you're in. I don't care, how dedicated you're to that club. If somebody makes you the right offer, you're gonna take it. That's just the way it is. And it's going to come a time where new players come into the space and where they're trying to accumulate, digits because they're very liquid. And there's going to come a time when the clubs are going to go away because the big boys are going to come in here and they're going to make offers and they're going to scoop these things up and they're going to hold them in their vault, hold them within their portfolio, and more than likely, a lot of the digits will be totally off the market because they know how valuable it is. They've seen this play out before. The big boys have. They understand the value when it came to .com era. That's why you see a lot of the .coms that still hold a tremendous value and are still selling at high amounts. This is what's going to happen with .eth and the ENS domains. The same thing will occur, but there's some players in here who are trying to really get ahead of it, and they're trying to accumulate as much as possible. So just keep in mind that although we love the clubs that are out there, we love what they're bringing, to the space and the community and the engagement. At some point, it's in reality somebody's going to make offers on these things and they're going to scoop them up. And eventually, slowly but surely, the clubs will start to not exist anymore when it comes to the people or the entities that have come in and accumulated all these digits. That's just my opinion, and I feel strongly about that. The other thing is that when you take a look at this whole entire space, in general, just kind of like what Master was talking about, everybody who's registering domains, there's going to be people out there, and you got to really do your due diligence. You really got to pay attention to these things because, like Kev said, these things hold value. You have assets in your possession, and people want them, especially if you have what we deem grails, right? So people are going to try to get these things from you. So you got to be vigilant. You got to be careful about what you're doing, and you just got to pay attention and stay connected, stay engaged out here with the community, so you can continue to learn these things. Just like the example that Master provided this morning was a huge learning lesson, even for me. I'm pretty vigilant about clicking on links and all of that stuff, and I try to stay away from that. But we can all learn this stuff, every single day, learn something new, different tactics that these bad actors are taking out there to try to pull you in or reel you in. So that was a great example, Master. I appreciate you sharing that. Yeah, a lot going on. Can't wait till we hit 2 million. That's going to be a huge catalyst, in this space. And I can't wait for the news wire to blow up with all the ENS related topics when we hit that 2 million. That's very exciting. I look forward to the discussion today. If you haven't retweeted the space out, make sure you retweet it out. Let's get some more people in here to hear some of the good things from some of these veterans in here that are bringing amazing information every single morning on the ENS Update Show. Thanks, Kev. I appreciate it, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you for, being consistent with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I do want to say this, y'all. I do this show every day on my lunch break, right? So I do work a job. I do this show every day in the middle of my lunch break. Unfortunately, on Mondays, there's a call that I can't get out of. As bad as I want to get out of it, I can't get out of it on Monday. So it's about a 30-minute call that I always have to step away from on Monday. So shout out to the co-host and host for holding it down while I'm on that call. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up. I'm going to take a step away for a few. But before I go, Gary, good morning. How you doing, man?
GM, everybody. Hey, thanks for welcoming me back. Took a week off, went up to the lakes and the rivers and the mountains, and lost a little bit of internet connectivity. Yeah, super excited. Good to hear all the friendly faces and see all your voices. Really loving it, Master. Yeah, everyone, good advice out there. I would summarize a lot of what was said to say, don't click on links, and to type in, instead of clicking on the OpenSea link, just go to OpenSea the way you normally know, and then just manually go look up your name. It's extra steps, but it's a big deal, the way that privacy works and tracking works, and that's it's from a trusted source, and even then, you don't know if their account was hacked. It's something we see very often. Thanks, Ron, for the shout out on Whale Shark Show. Yeah, Whale Shark's been doing a Sunday show. What is it? It's 9 a.m. Eastern time. 9 is it 9 p.m. Singapore time? And that's a Sunday show he's been doing to his audience, exposing his audience to his Discord and Twitter Spaces to all things ENS. We gave a shout out to his audience, to ENS Updates Show and 5159, talking about the good work that's happening every day over here. So that's cool that you guys shouted him out as well. He's super bullish. They have super grails they're holding in their whale shark community. Really cool. Hydrate. He tweeted earlier this week or yesterday or so. He was saying, if you aren't reading the weekly ENS newsletter, do you even know what's happening in ENS? So definitely encourage people to go read the ENS newsletter. We want to encourage the core teams and the people that are stewarding the DAO. We want to encourage them to continue making good content and continue. It's really hard work creating a newsletter. It's really hard work for Kev to like show up every day to put in 1% every day. And so we have to reward people when they're doing that work. So they know that they're not, creating that content, compiling all that information in vain, right? If they know that people are clicking on it, they can see the traffic probably. They're going to see people are sharing it. They're going to hear people are talking about it. You're going to get alpha because you're going to hear it from them first. They're compiling everything they're hearing and all the DAO calls that they're running, and then we can take that information and bring it to these shows to then talk about what's happening. So I wanna push that out there. Yeah, just super excited about ENS. ENS is not an NFT; it's a protocol, and I know technically ENS is an NFT, but it's so much more than an NFT. It's cross blockchain. It's cross blockchain compatible. It's blockchain agnostic. Every single system, Web 2 and Web 3, will be able to leverage sign with Ethereum, EIP 4361, naming, all of this really cool stuff. I'm expecting to, we're all expecting to hear about the name wrapper. And yeah, when this name wrapper comes, I just believe there's going to be this explosion of developers and builders and project managers who are going to be looking at the wrapper and then, starting to play with it and asking what can they do with it. And we're going to see all these, it's going to be like a next stage of evolution. It's like the fish are growing lungs or something. Yeah. And last but not least, I just shared the link, just announcing sort of the soft launch of our website. We got a lot of work to do. It's not even presentable yet, but Web3 domains, web3domains.com, working on that with ada.eth, otherwise known as unfoldedlife.eth, and several authors, many of which are in this room right now. And just, really appreciative of everybody here, everyone that shows up, everyone that supports the builders like Kev, 5159, Ron, Master, the NFT verse with the Friday show, and I appreciate that same love. So if anyone has any questions, you guys know I'm always here for you. This community is the best community in all of Web3. Right up there with Pizza DAO.
Awesome. Thanks, Gary. Yeah, I was out, I was out for the better part of 3 weeks. So, and then I think when I first got back was when you were gone. So, yeah, I haven't heard from you in a month. So good to hear you again. And then speaking of always being there and consistently, let's jump over to Punks, ENS Punks. How you doing?
Hey, GM Ron. I guess 5159 is a little tied up, but I want to shout him, the GM, and Master. Thank you guys for always hosting, co-hosting, and all the speakers up here, the listeners, the community. It's always good to kick off the week with a little ENS update. So, yeah, some exciting things going on with the sales, everything. And I think probably even more exciting is lots of building going on, a lot of building in the background. Sometimes it's important, of course, like, Master brought up some of this information. I think we always got to go back to that, this idea of security. Just, there's always new listeners, always new people to the space. And then it doesn't matter if you're new or not. You can always find yourself in a bad position. You get some email, you're in some new Discord channel and somebody DMs you. It's just like that, anybody could fall for these links, right? All you need to say really is, the best projects, Bored Apes, it's happened to them where, their servers, there's been exploits in their servers. Bored Apes is unusual in that they were able to take care of their people. Not every project's going to be able to do that. So it is important we revisit, topics of security. And, I'll give a shout out. I noticed one of the queens in here earlier. I'm not sure if she's still in here, but Mrs. Marvel, she reached out and she was taking it upon herself, right? She created a subdomain. She attached a brand new wallet to that subdomain, and she's just going to use that purely for purposes of minting. And that's just like, yeah, I probably wouldn't have mentioned it if it weren't for Master bringing this up. But these are the kinds of things that are very easy to do in Web3. The ENS names not only make it easier but make it fun. You I think in her case she did like sign dot and then the name dot eth. You could do minting dot whatever dot eth. Everybody knows I got a weird little thing for emoji subdomains, off my quadruple, where it's like you got the cow.ufo.alien. Off that cow I got a glass of milk, and that's my minting wallet. If that milk gets spoiled, if there's an exploit, I don't give a shit. Boom, I switched up, create a brand new wallet. But exercise these little things, and I'm glad we talk about it. I'm glad we bring up these things, kind of both new and old. Again, there's always going to be new ways to do the old exploits, and again, it's important for new people to hear, but it's also important for us who have been around and maybe get a little confident and comfortable in our own skin to think, okay, we're no longer subject to these sorts of exploits and phishing attempts. I assure you, everybody is. So it's good to address these things. But really, I'm super excited. All the building that's going on. We don't hear about it very often, but Master, he's building and he's got redletter.eth, excited about that. Gary is building, he's getting his team of writers together. I know some of those writers coming on board to come write articles for him. That's fantastic. Again, it's like more content, the better. That's going to reach some people, get some eyes on people. You can't say enough about the NFT verse and Friday night happy hour. I mean, our guy started that, it's probably about 2 months ago now. And he just did it as a one-off. And the first thing out of his mouth when he did the first Friday night happy hour is, I'm no host. I'm not going to do this ever again. This is a one-time deal. But it's like, no, sorry, the community's demanding you come back and you host this every Friday night. And now it's like, it's just become a staple, the community, so some of the listeners in here, we got Gui Man, the Gui Woman, they're regulars in there. It's good to have them. It's just good to kind of like, let your hair down on that Friday night, just have a good time, not talk about ENS and just sort of kick it with each other, deepen those connections. So, yeah, I just want to shout out, all the builders, Crypto Reporter, again, it's like he's going to be one of those writers. And, everybody can contribute. Whether you host a space and you're building community, whether you make some YouTube videos, or like Sedef, who's, again, she was going outside her comfort zone, right? She talks about her openly, like, I don't know TikTok. I feel like I'm too old for it, but I'm doing it for the community, and it's good for the community. So we want everybody to create content. Not everybody's a dev. I'm certainly not, but devs have rallied around me. I'm building in the background, so got some exciting things coming up. And then the last thing, it wrapped up last night, but another shout out, which it's I guess it's unfortunate that look, there's always going to be tragedies in the world. There's always going to be hardship. There's always going to be people and places going through certain things. But it is fantastic because it oftentimes brings out the best of humanity. And we saw that last week with the helpkentucky.eth project. So, not to beat a dead horse, I think by now we all know about it. But, there's a flooding in Kentucky, and, look, it resulted in multiple dozens of deaths. People are displaced. People are without homes. Hundreds of people lost their homes in a small town of maybe 2,000 people. And that's just one town of multiple towns that have been affected. and the ENS community, somebody there locally, and not even directly from Jackson, but drove over to Jackson to help and created the wallet, created the idea, onboarded the mayor of Jackson. It's an amazing thing, and a lot of the community supported this. It reflects very highly of the ENS community to support people like that. There's no simpler way to say it than I already did. It's the world is not without its fair share of hardships and tragedies, and those opportunities are always going to present themselves. And that's a good way to look at it is, even in the hardest times, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for ENS itself, and that's not why we're doing it. Again, it's the idea is when these things traditionally happen, most people don't know what to do. I've talked about it before. My brother is like a lawyer for the insurance company for that Pulse nightclub in Orlando. And when it got shot up, a lot of people reached out to him and his law firm and wanted to make donations. Said, "Hey, I've read about the 49 victims who were killed, and there was well over 100 who were injured, but 49 deaths." And people would read up on it, and they'd say, "Look, we know they left behind young children and they're without a parent. We'd love to donate." And there was no response other than there's no charity, there's no funds set up for this. We love that you're reaching out. We'd connect you if there was, but there just isn't. And that is a gap. That's a real world problem and a real world gap that ENS can solve. Like a lot of people here want to work on stuff like that. They've got good hearts. We all have good hearts. And it just magnifies what we're doing here. And that is building, make no mistake about it. So it was a tremendous effort. Again, Steph stepped up. I still call him Richard 68. But our guy Rex, who's there locally, we want to shout him out. 0-0 stepped up big for the community. We want to shout him out. So, there is no limit on building, on what building means. So I just want to kind of thank everybody, thank the community, and just continue to encourage everybody. Like, the sales are fantastic. It's going to keep happening, but we just got to keep focused on building. And the more we build, the more we are going to see things like, maybe 100 plus 4 digits get swept. We're just going to see more and more people on board, more and more people commit to not just ENS, but the community. People are going to want to be part of something like that. So I just thought last week was fantastic all around.
Hey, thanks, ENS. Yeah, look, if you really step back, what I think is so unique about the ENS movement is it's so grassroots, right? It's not about influencers pushing something or pumping their bags. Everybody, like you said with NFTverse, now going on over 2 months of doing the ENS happy hour, and he was just doing it once. It's not. I think that you maybe get better information at this stage in the game because look, everyone on here. I don't think it's there's no certainly no secret that we all have ENS names and we all have our different strategies, but I feel like it's a little bit of a more pure, more grassroots at this point, more just solid. There's a foundation, right? We have a super strong foundation, and more so than a lot of these other things. And one of the things I heard Gary say, it's funny because I was going to bring it up, and what he just said is, hey, it's not really an NFT, but on the other call, so maybe Gary's a little bit of a flip-flopper, but he said, hey, this is the oldest NFT, that's still around, still doing stuff. And I know what he means, but it really is. It kind of
Yeah,
struck me. In fact,
saying technically, it's an NFT because it's a 751 or 1155 shows up in your blockchain wallet, but it's really not. It's really so much more than an NFT because it's a protocol.
No, I know. I totally got what you're saying, and 100%. But it really is. In fact, the reason I think it jumped out at me, Gary, is because right before that, I was looking on. I think it was White Rabbits, and had uh, Kevin I met, and a lot of the people here I met because we were into historic NFTs, and I was just looking at. I think it's White Rabbit's updated timeline, and there it is. There's NFT way there. ENS way there in early 2017. So I think that's probably why it really jumped out at me. What you said earlier about it. So on one of the oldest NFTs, it truly is, right? And I think we have a truly unique situation where this is really community driven. So over to NFT verse. What do you want to say on this topic?
Shout out to the pre-punks, right? Because that's why we have pre-punk ENS names, because ENS names came out before the punks did, and ENS names and punks all came out before the ERC 721 standard was even implemented. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty historic.
Yeah, it is, just from the NFT side, and like you say, on the NFT side, on the domain name, when comparing them to .coms, it's so much more. And whereas we're all looking at utility to really give something value moving forward, it's unparalleled to any project I can think. So let's go to NFT verse, and then we'll jump over to ENS Academy.
Yeah, Ron, just wanted to touch on something you said, just kind of about, the community at a grassroots level. There's definitely something to say about being consistent, right? Especially in this space, especially in the crypto space, especially in the NFT space, and just staying consistent with something. That's something that Kev, kind of striking up the ENS updates show, and running this thing consistently as long as he has, and everybody coming here and committing to it. Ron, you and Master as the host, and the regular speakers that come up. There's a lot to say about that in this type of environment, because it moves so fast and things come and go so quickly. You could have something running up one day and everybody's all happy about it, and they're partying, and then the next thing you know, it starts to die down. The one thing that we've always stood strong on in this community is the utility of ENS, and what that provides. I think that that's what's always kept us here, to understand what's being built, knowing the builders out there, being close to the builders, being able to have conversations with the builders, and to bounce things off of one another. That's why this space is continuing to thrive. That's why this particular show continues to thrive no matter what happens. We were doing this when the market was bleeding out the ears, bleeding out the mouth, bleeding out the back of his head, out of his eyeballs. We were still in here talking about the utility of this particular protocol. It did not stop us. And to this day, we're still here talking about it. And I hope that more people continue to understand the strength that of foundation that's being built here. So, again, grassroots, yes. The diversification of people and personalities in here, yes, that's what makes this community so strong. So thanks, Ron. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, NFT verse. Yeah, so many ups and downs. I mean, we've had calls where there's been, a combined 2,000 people. There's been calls where there's been less than 100 people over the hour and a half, because, people jump on and jump off. But yeah, absolutely. It's amazing the highs and lows we've had as a community, and also for all the listeners, because without the listeners, not everyone chooses to step up, and certainly encourage. I mean, this show's for everybody. Certainly encourage new people to jump up and talk as well. We'll get up whoever we can, and yeah, definitely appreciate all the consistent speakers who have been here, day in and day out, and everything like that. So, yeah, let's jump over to ENS Academy, and then we'll go to Crypto Reporter, formerly known as Crypto Intern.
Good morning. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, 5159. Thank you all for just, setting the tone right here every day. I love it. I wanted to announce the spaces we have this week. We have a space coming up at 12 p.m. CST talking about building. Console DAO is building a chat tool for all of us. You can use your ENS to basically sign in and have an account there. And we're going to talk to him about the decision to use ENS and just also talk about DAOs in general, right? DAOs are going to be big in the bear market. I think building is going to be the best thing we can do, and to learn from those who started DAOs is valuable. So join us at 12 o'clock, Console DAO. And the second space we have this week is going to be about importing your DNS domain to ENS and why. What does that mean? What's the difference between an ENS and an imported DNS to ENS? What is the differences? It's not the same. It's going to have different things and limitations. So we want to talk about that with Sean Murray. He's been there since day one, and I'm sure you would enjoy this space. And then next week we're gonna have ENS Vision again talk about their marketplace updates and the new features they're launching. I mean, we can never have enough spaces with with Zero and Forian and talk about their awesome project. Such a good marketplace that we all needed. Thank you guys for that. We're also going to talk about subdomains next week, so I'll post the announcement soon for that. And last thing I want to say, I want to encourage you all to join our forum. We have a bunch of articles on there. A lot of people contributed. We're looking for more contributors. You can post your questions on there. It's a forum, it's just like any development dev forum, when you want to go and learn a new language, or you would go there and there's a lot of content. We want to be that place for the community. So you can go in and post your questions or post your threads on there and have a conversation with the community. So with that, thank you guys and see you all soon.
Hey, thanks, ENS Academy. Always look. We need education. We need all these things, to grow and to keep everyone educated and to keep teaching. So we really appreciate what you're doing, ENS Academy, for the space. And let's jump over to Crypto Reporter. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, everybody. GM to the speakers, GM 5159. Ron, glad you're back, man. Master, oh God, we gotta talk. We gotta talk. That is for now. We'll save that for later. Shout out Gary. Gary, I see you're in the building. Thank you, man, for the opportunity. We also have to set up something probably later this week. But I'm excited to work on with Web3 domains and with Red Letter. Shout out to real quick shout out to ENS Punks, man. Doing the damn thing. Always involved in the community. I was able to, with his videos, was actually the first place I was able to go to try to learn how to set up an IPFS. And so now I can say I have a decentralized website now. It's crazy. It's, or let me say, censorship resistant. I'm trying to improve this on this speech factor. But yeah, censorship resistant. I think that is actually quite amazing when you really think about it. The abilities of ENS combined with IPFS, it's something new, and it's really awesome to be a part of. But real quick, I wanted to just say a couple of things. ENS Academy will be hosting the show with Chris from Console DAO, and I was actually able to connect with Chris. So I think it was sometime last week, and pretty much just get on a call with him and talk about his ideas when it comes to trying to build like a Discord-like service, but for Web3. And he said something pretty interesting. He said, once you're able to solve for identity, then you're able to establish trust. And I think that's a very important line. So I actually had to write it down and be like, oh, it's very, very important to what we're doing, or what ENS, the people in the ENS community, what we believe, right? It's solving for that identity factor. And for those who know of Michael Saylor, he's the CEO of MicroStrategy. And he was talking to Lex Friedman on his podcast, and he was talking about that ability to establish identity, to verify for identity when it came to Twitter verifications. He said something to the notion of, if you're able to do like a one-time payment with Bitcoin, that then this is your identity, then you would be able to kind of transition or go through cyberspace without having to run into bots or spams or things like that. And I'm thinking that technology already exists within the ENS ecosystem. So it's crazy that it's just hasn't been implemented yet. So I advise everybody who is aware of a project to actually go on, be able to tell them about login.xyz, be able to try to learn about sign-in with Ethereum, because these are important factors if we want to establish a Web3 based on trust. Um, I'll end with a couple other lines, but guys, we are really on the precipice of something amazing. We're like, what, 14 years into the adoption of Bitcoin? We're basically in pretty much like year 2 of institutional adoption, right? 50% of people who are in crypto now have only been gotten in the past 2 years. That's saying a lot. You know, even Kevin of Shark Tank pretty much said it best. He said, you have the smartest people in the world deciding that they don't want to work in finance, they don't want to work in traditional Web 2. They're hopping onto crypto. And we are really just only really like, what, 5 years into ENS? We are hella early, and it's really awesome to be a part of something that's so early, because then you can start to establish yourself. And like Ron said, I was formerly Web3 intern, but I was doing the damn thing, I guess. And now I have the ability to work with people like Master, work with people like Gary. I think that's amazing. And it's through all of these things. And once I'm able to get these articles out, I'll actually be eligible to speak at the panel that actually introduced me to the ENS, I think last year. So now I have the ability, if I'm able to write these articles, if I'm able to just play my part in the space, then I'll actually be able to go on a panel next year. And that's really thanks to you guys. So I'm very appreciative to the crowd, to everybody in here. Just keep building, keep doing your part. As ENS punks would say, just keep doing the damn thing. But that's all I wanted to say, guys.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Thanks for always being here. And let's jump over to Miss Pakistan.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for welcoming me to the best morning show on Twitter. I just wanted to share something that I thought was very interesting. So Foza actually gave me this username, Miss Pakistan, and I wasn't going to do anything with it, but I wanted my TikTok and Instagram to have the same username. Obviously, Miss Pakistan was taken, but I was able to do misspakistan.eth on both of those things. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, because, like, if you guys, like, for example, Gwayman, right? I love that name. So he could potentially go onto IG or TikTok and do Gwayman.eth. And then he'll have the same username across platform. And, this is our digital identity, and that's probably besides for the wallet addresses, our digital identity is probably going to be one of the strongest use cases for ENS, in my opinion. So I just think that's really cool. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. And I hope, Miss Pakistan, I hope you're really from America. Otherwise, you're making us all look bad since you speak better English than most of us on the panel. So, but no, it's it's great to have you here. And I wanted to jump. The only person we haven't heard from yet is 0095. If you wanted to jump in and say anything.
Yo, what's up, y'all? I don't have nothing to say, but yo, what's up, kid? Nah, yeah, shout out to everybody on stage. I'm just chilling, man. I had some shit, but I forgot. Damn.
Why you don't have a PFP, bro?
Oh yeah, man. Like I'm like the PFP footer. I hate all PFP, so that's just what I'm on.
Well, there we have it, y'all. ENS Maxi, but PFP Flutter. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back. Man, I'm back and I'm better. Thank you, Ron, and the rest of you guys for holding it down. Yeah, Mondays, those things are mandatory, man. I can't get out of them. But I do want to go over to 0-0 real quick. 0-0. We seen that ENS Vision had some good volume this weekend with some of the digits purchased. If you want to talk about that, man.
First, thanks for having me on, Ron, 5159 and Master, and Gary. So yeah, we did have some good volume for us, considering we're a small market, and the three digits did really well. So I think we captured about almost 70%, 65 to 70% of the three digit sales over the weekend, which is a big accomplishment for us. And we are running that special. If you make a new listing, there's no sales fee, so that 1.5% won't be added on the sale upon completion. We released a new chat feature, Nifty Chat, on the site. Telegram app notifications will be coming, I believe, don't quote me on this, sometime within about 7 to 10 days. And then email notifications will be coming in about 2 weeks. So that a lot of notifications. Also will update the bulk registration, bulk listing, bundles should be coming very soon. The update on the bulk registration is the most exciting for me. It's bulk extension. When you register a name, you can instead of going into your wallet, you can have it shipped to any address that you punch in, or go straight into your cold wallet.
Nice, man. I'm happy to see you guys do fairly well and continue to progress over time, and that just shows you guys are growing your brand within this community. So your success is our success, right? It's kind of like watching a company grow up. We watch the evolution of ENS Vision, and I'm excited to continue to watch the evolution. I just brought up DGen Tom Selleck to the stage. Gutter Selleck, the stage is yours. Good morning. How you doing?
Yo, what up, you DJs? Appreciate you guys bringing me up. Super bullish on ENS. I have a bunch. I actually picked up two firm account and client account ID. But I have a question in regards to the use cases. Obviously, you get a domain, a website. I've heard you can open up your car with ENS. But like, what else can I do with these things? I know that there's subdomains. I feel like you guys can probably answer some questions, right?
Number one use case is going to be, I should go find that tweet I did. Number one use case is going to be usernames.
Okay.
There's usernames is very, very big in Web3. It's different than Web2. Without going over like all the details,
For sure.
then it's important to realize that, you know, with usernames, we theorize every human, every smart contract, every NFT, every IoT device has some sort of identifier, right? Your phone has an identifier. Everything has serial numbers. These could be replaced with ENS names, which you then add additional data using data fields, right? And so usernames is a big thing. Then we have sovereign subdomains. We have unlimited subdomains, which extends out the naming space. That all has to do with the reverse resolver. So everything automatically works with all this cool sign in with Ethereum stuff. When you implement EIP 4361 or login.xyz or sign with Ethereum, ENS has reverse resolver, which means it automatically is identifiable as your username. Then it's forward compatible with ICANN TLDs. So all ICANN TLDs, existing infrastructure in Web2, can, like a hot knife through butter, a couple lines of code, EIP 4361, all ICANN names work as well. Sort of like, beyond that, there's like these basic use cases that ENS names do. They like, obviously their websites addresses, they're distributed website addresses for your IPFS website. It's a distributed website address for your Tor website. And it's also a payment address for any blockchain currency, every blockchain token, cross blockchain compatible, blockchain agnostic. So of course it does websites, of course it does payments, but this username, aspect of being able to name things and have everything automatically be recognizable and identifiable across all, not just EMV compatible blockchains, but all blockchains, and connecting Web 2 and Web 3. Because when we have the subdomain implementation, and we have this other thing that I think CryptoPunks talks a lot about, the CCIP, which is something that Chainlink and ENS names are working on together. It's going to, subdomains will be able to be issued on Amazon, on a basement server, like a blockchain, anywhere. And it's going to allow essentially Web 2 people to connect their Web 2 systems with, Web 3 using ENS. So yeah, naming, there's a lot of features, there's a lot of benefits, but naming is that first use case. Websites and payments. And it's just important to recognize too that ENS has the network effect. And so we have the network effect in the owners of ENS names, and we have the network effect in hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of organic non-paid integrations. So there's just a lot there with what it can do, and there's no VC investors and all that good stuff. So it's a protocol, it's a community based, it's ripcord principles. If I forgot anything, someone else can jump in.
No, hey Gary. If anything, that was amazing. Let me just say that. But I actually advise anyone who is also looking towards this to also look at his interview with ENS Academy, because I actually was listening to that last night, and you also brought up like a very good point about every person, every domain, or any particular thing can be use an ENS name. It's a naming protocol. It's and when you think about it, right, that every physical object can be supply chain tracked with a human readable domain. That it just opens up the possibilities. And I think you had went through a couple of supply chain um, examples, but can you touch on that again? Because I think that part is also very important. Gary, I think I
Sorry,
lost.
sorry about that. I mute button. Supply chain tracking, things like that. So I like to use Honda as an example. I don't know why. I think a lot of us used to drive Hondas. And so you have Honda.eth, Honda.eth, and then what's the type of Honda? Like a Civic. So you have Civic.Honda.eth, and then you have then Honda could have parts.honda.eth, and then they could have brakes.parts.honda.eth, and then it's like your Civic has a VIN number, so your Civic might be 1234 dot Civic dot Honda, or maybe it's 1234 dot 2025 dot Honda, and then your Civic then has an ENS name, has an ENS address, and then on that it says there's all these data fields, and the data fields say, hey, this is the date that the car was manufactured, this is the date that it left the factory, this is the dealership that bought it or took possession, this is the date that it was sold, this is the ENS address of the person who bought it. Separately there could be a part section to say, yeah, here's an ENS name of the original brakes that were installed in the car. And then you can click on that ENS name and you go to the brakes, and the same thing. It's like, yeah, these brakes came out of this factory. They were shipped on this date. They were received by this other factory. They were installed into a Honda, on a Civic, on this date. Here's an ENS name to the exact Honda that the name went into. And so you just have this massive unlimited number of data fields. It's like one of the other benefits of the ENS names, that it's extendable to whatever degree you want. And is that what you're asking for?
Kind of, yeah. Like, for instance, in regards to the subdomains, that's really cool. I didn't even think of that they were unlimited ones. So you could pretty much do, like in your example, 123.civic.parts.brakes.honda.eth, right? essentially.
Something like something like that. Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't realize that. In regards
Yeah,
to
I mean,
the
I was, I mean,
subdomains, though.
specifically, I was giving. I mean, yes, I was saying it was.
But
Yeah, so
it's
it was
hypothetically.
123.4.2022.civic.honda, then separately brakes.parts.honda. But yeah, you could have unlimited subdomains going down.
Really cool. In regards to the, sorry if you hear heavy breathing. I'm walking my dogs. I'm just a cat. I don't breathe like that. But nonetheless, in regards to the subdomains, does that give you like a new address for each person? Like, let's say I gave you Gary.P.E. Obviously, you can't do a one-digit ENS address, but just for the hypothetical, Gary.P.E. Would that be a different wallet address than P.E?
It's a different domain name, and it's a different domain name where. I mean, it's a wallet address. For it to be a wallet address, what does it mean to be a wallet address? So a wallet address could mean it's your username, and if it's your username, you can only have one username per wallet address. And so if you wanted that ENS name to be a username, it would have to be in a wallet address specifically designated for that to be the primary username. But it can also be in a wallet address in the sense of receiving cryptocurrency payments, so that when you send a payment to that, I could have 100 different ENS names, and no matter where you send the token, it can all be the same place, or it can all be the different place. And then you could also mean having it resolved to a website, and so I can have 100 different ENS names all redirect to the same, IPFS website. Or I can have each of those 100 names each redirect to a different website. So as long as we're not talking about, it depends on which technical angle you're coming at. That answers it.
That makes sense. I guess the question was kind of broad in regards to, but I appreciate you answering that. But so basically, if we did that example though, the Gary.P.E, you could change the wallet address in regards to the amount, like the way the wallet to receive crypto to. Sorry, there's like a car alarm going on behind me. In regards to when you're receiving the crypto, it could be a different wallet address than the P.ETH, and the P.ETH can be, I guess, the main one, so the person actually owns it. But then whoever has the subdomain can have a different wallet address that can go to their wallet. That's what I'm asking.
Yes. Yep.
That's
Yep.
sick. That's pretty cool. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Every subdomain can be its own independent sovereign ENS name, which short story cannot be taken away from you, right?
Why is that?
Because these are the rules that are being built into the smart contract, and the rules say that not every time, but if the original owner sets it up in such a way, this is mechanism called a fuse, which means it can be burnt, and something that's burnt can't be unburnt. And if there's these two different fuses, and if those two fuses, aka permissions, if those permissions are burnt, destroyed, then the owner will no longer have the capability of taking back ownership of those subdomains, which means that if you own, hotels.gary.eth, then you will forever own hotels.gary.eth, and I won't ever be able to take that away from you.
Oh, wow.
And, I mean, there's some exceptions to that, that revolve around having the original name expire. You can't let the original name expire, otherwise the name gets reincarnated, and
100%.
everything gets reverted. It doesn't matter if you burn the original second level name, it doesn't matter. As long as the original second level name doesn't actually expire, all of the subdomains will forever be safe. And because our system is set up in such a way that anybody can renew any name, you just need I predict we're going to easily, very quickly, places like ENS Vision, they're going to have like a page. Here's an alpha idea, right? Just some little fun project. You have a page of all the ENS out there, and then you just have them ordered by how many subdomains they issued, and then you have another sortable column by the expiration date, and then there's going to be bots and Twitter bots and watchers that say, hey, this Penelope.eth has 15,000 subdomains and it's at risk of expiring in 3 months. There's going to be some hero that drops $300. There's going to be 600 people that drop $1, to extend that name, a year or 100 years or whatever the case is. But yeah, you can't let the main domain expire, otherwise it gets reincarnated and everything gets reverted. And then the second thing is out of the box, this is a longer discussion, but out of the box, if you rent a subdomain for 1 year to somebody, and you also burn a permission, so you can't remove the ability to take that name back from somebody, in that scenario, it might be possible for the second level domain owner to remove the ability for someone to renew their name. And so it's impossible for them to, under that scenario, it's impossible for them to take the name away from you, but it is possible for them to remove the ability to renew. So it would just no longer be in your possession after the expiration date. If you're buying a name for 50 or 100 or infinity years, using the name wrapper out of the box, that's your lifetime. You don't got to worry about it. You can just, you're probably fine. But if you're registering it for a year at a time or a couple of years at a time, without them having a registrar contract in the middle, sort of controlling that, it is possible for the owner to remove the renew button. Super technical. We're super early. Yeah, everything is upgradable and updatable, but a lot of nuance.
For sure. That's really cool. I actually ended up getting some single word last names .eth, so I'm kind of excited to get some subdomains after that. I appreciate you guys.
Keep in mind that people who have good names and then they wrap those names and they burn the fuses. If I was, Coca, if I was, Budweiser and they already bought beer.eth, but if you being anybody listening, owned beer.eth, and then you waited for the subdomain wrapper, and then you wrapped it, and you burnt the fuses, and then you sold subdomains, and then someone owned like nyc.beer, and they owned store.beer.eth, and then you sold that for 100 Ethereum and you made a couple $100,000. Well, now Budweiser comes along and they're like, these guys took like a 1929, Model T and they replaced the engine, or they took like this box of playing cards that you forever damaged and ruined a digital asset. And they might have paid 1,000 Ethereum or 5,000 Ethereum for that unblemished, but now it's blemished. Now they got to worry about someone out there with this store.beer.eth brand while they own all the rest of them, and they can stop selling them and forever it's just a clusterfuck to be like, oh yeah, we own beer.eth, but we don't own store.beer.eth, and that's so fucking annoying. We have to say that we're just not even going to use this. You know what I mean? Or they just buy it at a discount, right? So I want people to be cautious about permanently altering their ENS names.
I appreciate that, and I didn't even know that. That's a good way to think about it.
Yeah. So one more question, Gary. Do you know any recent progress regarding name wrapper? Is there any change on the like go live date? Because previously we know something like it's end of August. There will be something. So do you know if there's any recent news about name wrapper?
I have a tweet back and forth with Nick, I think in October or so of 21 last year, and Nick told me it was going to be done by the end of the year. He basically as I keep on saying, it's 90% done and they only need to finish the other 90%. I'm back from vacation, and that is like, if I had an ENS name for every time someone asked me that question just this morning, I'd have a large number of ENS names. But I was told a couple of weeks ago in the Discord that we should be expecting some updates on the audit, on the Discuss board, but that was like 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point. I haven't heard a lot of information, but I am going to be, now that I'm back, I am going to be asking those questions in the Discord. Yeah, I'll be asking those questions, and I'll report back to you guys.
Yeah, thanks much. Appreciate it, man.
Wow, that was jam-packed with alpha. Thank you, Gary. That was good. Just added 2302 to the stage. What's up?
Just got done working out. Good morning. So I had kind of a question on subdomains a little bit. I know that that's something that the name wrapper is trying to fix, but I think I remember reading somewhere in the documentation that there's, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is kind of the question is there like a function that the original owner of the domain can call to kind of like retrieve control of a subdomain? Because I thought that that's something I'd read in the documentation, but I just kind of wanted to get that clarified.
So we're talking about the ENS official ENS name wrapper and subdomains of the created by the official ENS name wrapper. My understanding is that there's going to be multiple fuses. There's going to be 7 to 10 plus fuses, and there's going to be I believe I heard 2 of those fuses need to be burnt in order for the second level name owner to not to lose the ability to recall subdomains. If those permissions are left intact, which depending on the user interface you're looking at, like say ENS Vision has an interface, or they are an interface, right? So I'm thinking about this through, right? It's like they're not going to have this on some names. They ENS Vision would have this on every single name. OpenSea would have this on every single name, where you're going to have to add some sort of visual identifier. Maybe it's like 7 dots, and then if the dot is filled in, or if the dot is on fire, maybe they have like a little fire. If it's on fire, that means it was burnt, and if it's green, that means it's not burnt. But every name, before you buy any second level name, now, it's actually going to be a whole different contract anyways, once it goes into the name wrapper. So it's not going to be in the ENS contract anymore. It's going to be in the subdomain contract on OpenSea. But they're going to have to add this visual identifier to show you, they should at least, which fuses are burnt. Let it be you're registering a name or you're buying, that second level name. And yeah, again, if those fuses are burnt, then this subdomain is then stubborn, with the exception that if the second level domain expires, it gets reincarnated and everything gets reset. Or if the renewal is less than a lifetime, then depending if they're not using a registrar contract in between, then it would be possible for them to remove the ability for you to renew the name. So I hope that answers. So the question is, the answer is, it depends if those 2 fuses are burnt.
Okay, yeah, great. That was a lot of info. Thank you. No, I'm in a good way. That was great. Thank you.
Good thing this room is recorded and Kev posted. Wait for Kev to. I don't want to give anything away, but it'd be cool if I could listen to this on my Apple podcast.
I'm working on it, man. Looks like I'm gonna download the files from YouTube and upload them from there. Because if not, to download the files from Twitter takes an incredibly a lot of space and a long time. So yeah, it's a work in progress. But ladies and gentlemen, I think this was a great episode for the day. Thank you for all the guys who held it down while I was gone for my call. Gary always drops a ton of alpha. But yeah, we'll call this one a day for today, and we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in, ladies and gentlemen. Have a phenomenal day, and don't degen too hard. With that being said, 5159 is out. Peace.